Master B.
Yes, good evening.
Just an FYI, my dobok wasn't dry for this session, but it should be for next class.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard when we're training so frequently, isn't it?
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Julian. Okay. Let's get started, shall we? Now, remember from last week, this is a second session that we're going to do targeted for beginners. So going through a whole lot of basic movements. Zane, you've got a blurred background on, so I won't be able to see you unless you turn that off. I think apart from that, we're ready to go. Just looking to see who's here. I think we're good to go. Okay. Let's begin, guys. Sit up. Show it. Take on. Raise your right hand and recite the tenets. Saju, courtesy, integrity, spirit, control, spirit, and recite the oath. That's all. I shall observe the tenets of performance. I shall respect the instructor and seniors. I shall never misuse Taekwondo. Be a champion of freedom and justice. I shall build a more peaceful world. Bottle. Okay, now, a couple of things. First up, for many of you, grading is on Monday. Make sure you are prepared. For those of you who are grading, make sure that you've completed the relevant pages of this book because I will ask to see it. And if you don't have this book, you've got this one, of course. Make sure you're learning all of the theory and stuff in it because I will be testing you on your theory as well. Check with your parents what you'll be grading for because some people are going for the next step in the children's syllabus and some people are going for the next step in the international syllabus and the GUP syllabus. So just check that you know what you're going for and you're preparing for the right grading. I will plan to, over the course of this weekend, separate that 2 hours up and see if I can give you all a half-hour window to attend, just to break it up a little bit so that you're not all sitting there for 2 hours waiting for your 5 minutes of fame. Okay, let's get started, guys. Oh, one more person coming in, just a moment. Rotating your wrists. Change direction. Elbows. So we'll go refresh through a whole lot of basic stuff today, and we'll also do some stuff to get ready for grading. And other direction. Well, we've done a lot of sessions this week going through all the syllabus for everybody from white belt and yellow stripe, arms back. So we won't spend quite so much time on that today. Come on, Zane, the virtual backgrounds are no good because then when you step back, I can't see you. So I can't give you feedback. And torso, feet are shoulder apart. Left ankle. Change direction. Change foot. Magnus, are you able to change the angle of your camera a little bit? Because I see a lot of your ceiling, change direction, and only your head. So Magnus, if you change your angle, I'll be able to give you more feedback other than your head looks great. Hands on knees, going down and back and down Back. Toby T, I can't see you on camera. I can see it. Oh, there you are. Awesome. And circling your legs outwards. Okay, Tangaora Mikaere, let's put our brains on tonight and get going with the class rather than lying around just because you're at home. Got to put the work in. And inwards. And hips. And change direction. Okay, a couple of quick reminders from last week. Excuse me while I just check this message. Okay. First up, hand positions. Remember we covered that last week. Everyone come in and hold your hands up like this. Curl your fingers down first. Start with your little finger through to your forefinger and pop your thumb on top. Okay, so that's a good strong taekwondo fist. So there's not air in the hand. The knife hand, hold our hand up like this, curl our fingers forward a little bit and pull our thumb back towards the wrist. So that's a knife hand. There's your sonkao. Cool. We also talked about foot positions. Okay. Foot position for front snap kick, pushing your foot forward and pulling your toes back. Foot position for turning kick inside piercing kick, pull your foot and your toes back, pulling your toe back as far as you can towards your knee so you expose this edge of your foot. That's called your foot sword. Okay, so they were our basic hands and foot positions for starting last week. Okay, then we move on to parallel stance punch. Everyone should be parallel stance punch to beat. One hand on your hip, palm up, other hand down in front, palm down. And then when we punch, we breathe out and change hands. Hana. Two. Set. Net. Daso. Yaso. Ilgo. Good. Remember when you punch eye level, that is a high punch. So everyone show me parallel stance, high punch. Hana. Two. Set. Net. Tasa. And low punches, tummy button. Hana. Two. Set. Net. Tasa. Good. Awesome. Everybody grab a chair. Let's do some work with our legs.
Oh, so just quickly, I noticed a lot of people were, your shoulders were moving a lot. Try and keep your shoulders still and on the same line. So the people I noticed, I'm sure there were more, were Mason, Sammy, Jax. I didn't get beyond that in time, but yeah, just watch that. Watch your shoulders.
Thank you very much, sir. Oh, somebody else coming in. Okay. So as Mr. West was saying, when you're punching, keep your hips and shoulders straight. Don't angle your shoulders sideways like this because you lose balance. So make sure you keep your shoulders straight. Okay, now with your chair, we're going to do a little bit of warming up for those legs. So have one hand by your brain, the other hand on your chair. And from here, we're just going to gently lift the leg up with a front rising kick. Just doing it gently to stretch. Go, do 10 of those each leg. Remember, while we're training by Zoom, turn your virtual backgrounds off and your blurring and things off because otherwise with you moving around, you just disappear now and again, and I can't give you feedback. So virtual backgrounds for Taekwondo classes are useless. Cool. That front rising kick from a walking ready stance, of course, is also a compulsory technique for white belts. So everyone do a few of these each leg. Cool. That's our front rising kick. Toes pulled back. Awesome. Okay. Next one, let's do a side rising kick. This is, as well as being a stretch, it's a compulsory technique for yellow stripes, but it's also good to warm the legs up. So we're going to turn the supporting foot, the one that's on the ground we call a supporting foot. I'm going to face it towards my chair. Put one hand on my chair, the other hand by my brain. And then from here, I'm going to turn my body sideways and lift my leg up in the air. So my foot is kind of parallel to the floor. Turn sideways. Doesn't stick up in the air. Do 10 of those each leg.
Just a quick tip for everyone. With this kick, don't try and only try and use one hand on the chair, first off. And secondly, try not to just face towards the camera, try and face in the direction you're kicking. It's gonna make your kick better. Because when you're trying to face the camera, your body's kind of a bit twisted, and you want your body to be as straight up as possible. Yes, Levi?
Wyatt, make sure you control your hands to the guarding block rather than having them down to the ground.
I don't have enough space for the side rising kick.
Or just do it towards the camera, Levi, rather than doing it towards your window. So do it facing the camera this way.
Okay, sir.
Change your angles and things as you need to fit into your space, guys. Okay, now using our chair, we're going to practice a couple of our basic kicks. We're going to practice 3 basic kicks. Front snap kick, turning kick, and side piercing kick. We're going to put a hand on the chair so we're not worried about balance and things. We're just going to be thinking about how the foot moves. I'm going to lift my knee up first and then push it outwards with my foot pushed forward and my toes pulled back. Then snap it back with my knee still up and then put it on the ground. Okay, so we go 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, when I do this kick, I don't want to kick any higher than the middle of my body, my solar plexus. So it only goes here or tummy button height, which is only really about that far apart. Okay, these two targets. From here, one hand up, guard your brain, other hand on the chair, both feet pointing straight ahead, up, out, back, down. Up, out, back, down. I want you to, when you extend your leg, hold it out there long enough to look at your foot and make sure your foot is pushed forwards with your toes pulled back, not with your foot sticking up. Push your foot forward and your toes back. Up, out, back, down. Mason, bring your other hand up by your brain. That's it. Cool, try the other leg.
Zane, after you've done the kick, like your foot has snapped out, try and keep your knee still up while you bring your leg back, and then put it down.
Good. Cool. Just put your chair to one side, guys, And now do a few of those from walking ready stance. So we go kick, cross, block. Kick, cross, block. Make sure you're pointing that foot forward. I keep my knee up. And then lower it to land. Just do about 5 of them each leg. Good. Cool. Okay, good stuff, guys. We'll do the next one. Turning kick. So the front snap kick comes up and straight out this way, but it's a flicking motion. See how my knee extends and comes back. Okay, extend the bottom part of my foot and come back. The turning kick is also a flicking motion, but this time I bring it up sideways and go out and back. And I use that second foot position, which is similar to how I stand up and down. Out and back this way. Now with this kick, my supporting foot is going to point towards the chair. I'm bringing my hand up by my brain. Lift, lean, lift my knee and foot nice and high, out and back. And then come back down to the ground and pivot again. Up and pivot, out, back, pivot and down. Go. Do a few of those each leg. About 6 each leg. Come on, Dario.
Come on, Sammy.
Lift your knee and foot nice and high. Julian, that's good. Some each leg. Mason, see how your foot's sticking up? When you kick, you want it to point across, not up like this. Point it across. Okay, so you got to lean your body and turn the foot that's on the ground. That's it, Mason. Lovely.
Julian, try and bring your toes back as far as they possibly can be, because I notice at the moment it looks like they're just flat.
If you finish, just do a couple more so that everyone can finish together. Lift that knee and foot as high as you can. Lovely, Eva. Luke, lift that knee and foot. We're not kicking somebody at the height of our knees. We're going to get it up. Lift, up, up, up. Use the strength of your leg. Okay, and come on. Now, the last of the 3 kicks we're going to do is not a flicking motion. It's not this way. It's a stamping motion. So I'm going to lift and stamp. Lift and stamp. Just try that gently on the ground now. Don't stamp too hard because you're inside. But lift and stamp. That's the motion I want. But I'm going to do that up in the air. The same motion. So I put my other hand on the chair, turn my supporting foot facing the chair, and I'm going to stamp away from the chair. Just do a couple on the ground first to get the feeling, and then lean and go a little bit higher. Stamp, stamp, and then go a little bit higher again. Lift that knee and foot. Make sure it's stamping and not flicking. So watch in particular, when I bring my foot back and up, it's in front of my body. And then I can stamp forward and bring it back in front of my body. Don't bring your heel back to your bum here. It's not a stamp if I do that. Heel, knee and foot in front of my body, stamp it out, bring it back in front of my body. Do about 6 of those each leg. knee and foot in front of my body, stamp out, bring it back the same way. Kellen, you're kicking too fast and you're flicking. I want to see stamping, not flicking. When you bring it back, bring your knee and foot in front of you. Don't drop it on the ground. Better. Keep the knee up when you bring it back, just in case you need to kick again. Okay, Magnus, come on, slow it down and show me some nice kicks. Oh, who's coming in? Welcome back, Wyatt. I've missed you. Good. Feel it step. That's good, Mason. Good, Levi. Just keep that other hand up by your brain when you're kicking.
Thank you, sir.
And come on. Put your chair away and grab a drink of water. Okay, now, just everyone come up close to the screen for a moment. This is good practice for everybody. We're just going to do a little bit on the crossing for our basic blocks. Okay, forearm and knife hand low block and inner forearm middle block. Now, one hand, I just want you to bring one hand out and do like you do for punching. So bring it out in front of you, palm down, and then pull it back to your hip, palm up. You'll feel that it twists. When you block, that hand does almost the same thing for most of your blocks. Okay? Now, just extend it out, palm down. But we're going to relax it with the elbow bent a little bit more. When we punch it, it's a little bit more straight. So relax it with the arm bent. And I'm going to take my other hand and put it on top like I'm smashing two watches together. While we're wearing two watches, I'm smashing two watches, so it's backhand to backhand. Okay, now from here, the hand that pulls back to my hip, pulls back to my hip, and the hand that's on top comes down and stops in front of my tummy. This is a forearm low block. And then repeat that again. You'll notice that I'm crossing in front of the opposite side of my chest so that I've got a little bit of movement in my arm. If I cross on the same side, I haven't really got any movement. So I want to create a slightly bigger path. Okay, so this is a forearm low block. Let's try the other side. Cross on top. So other hand, the blocking hand's on top, and stop down in front of your tummy. The attack's actually coming to the side of your tummy, not the front of your tummy. Okay, so it's this way. We can do the same thing with our knife hand. Try it with your knife hand. Try the other side. Crossing on top. Good. Okay, so that's our forearm low block and our knife hand low block. They cross on top. The inner forearm middle block is for an attack coming towards my body, and I cross underneath this time. So this hand's still going to do the same thing. Extend out with my arm bent, palm away from me. My other hand now comes underneath it, facing away from me. And now when I block and it twists, I'm blocking with my inner forearm at the height of my shoulder. Cross underneath Levi. Just watch that you're blocking underneath, crossing underneath. Both hands away from you. Both palms away from you. And then you can try the other side. Cool. And now stand up. You can go away from the camera a little bit. We're just going to try the same thing standing up. Low block, crossing on top. Notice that I stop in front of my body. I don't block all the way out here because I might block the attack out here, but then I've opened myself up to be attacked again. So I want to block and cover. Seniors, you should be easily able to go 1, 2, 1, 2, getting your crossing right every time. Those of you who are new, just repeat the same side a lot of times before you change and check that you're blocking with the correct hand. Seniors, you can try going 1, 2 each side and check that you're still getting your crossing right. Now try the knife hand. And the other side, if you haven't changed. Come on, Jax, you need to practice this too. Okay, now try the middle block, cross underneath. Sorry, Mr. West.
One of your hands should be coming back to your hip. It shouldn't be swinging out into empty space there. So make sure to bring the non-blocking hand right back to your belt on your hip.
Thank you, Mr. West. The hand that is not blocking comes back with the side of your fist on your hip, just like it did when we punched. Just like this. Crossing underneath. Come on, Dario, you need the repetition for this. Grading on Monday, I want to see that you're doing it correctly. Come on, okay, and relax. Very important when you're practicing the blocking like that every so often you check that you're blocking correctly. If you are blocking with the outside of your arm, your knife hand or your forearm, you will cross on top, smashing 2 watches together. Yellow belts, that works for your knife hand side block as well. And also for your chukyamaki. Okay, they cross on top. All of these blocks use the outside of the arm, the forearm or the knife hand, so they cross on top. If you're blocking with the inside of your arm, then you cross underneath. So just make sure you're checking every now and again that you're getting it correct, okay? Because it takes repetition. By the time you've done a few thousand of those, you don't think about it anymore. So you want to make sure you've done those first few thousand crossing correctly so you don't make mistakes. Okay, now, hands on hips, refresher for our walking starts. You don't need the chairs anymore, Zane. From here, when we take a big step forward, and I imagine there's train tracks under my shoulders, and I step from here, keep my train tracks, and step forward slightly wider. This is a walking stance. From here, my back leg is locked straight with my heel pushed in the floor, and my front leg is bent so my knee's over the top of my ankle. Not too far like this, just naturally here, okay? But it's a long stance. Look at how long my stance is. Remember as well, when you do this, naturally your foot will curve in a little bit and then go out again. It doesn't go out on a straight line because that's just really unnatural. Just take your weight onto the other leg, your other foot will naturally come in a bit, and then go out to where it lands. As you do that, spring your knees and breathe. Down, up, down. I use my knee to spring down, up, down. Same thing when I come back. Down, up, down. Down, up, down. But I don't come out to the balls of my feet. I keep my heels on the ground. Okay, try that right and left. Go. Yellow stripes and yellow belts, after you've done a few each side, I want you to do it with one of your fundamental movements. You might do it with chukyumaki. You might do it with knife hand side block. You might do it with flat fingers and thrust, although it's a yellow stripe movement. Yes, question.
What about this one?
That's not a walking stance, Julian. I want you to practice your walking stance. Yes, Ryan, you can go to the toilet if you can't hold your bladder for an hour. Good, awesome. Okay, now we're going to add one little complexity to that, and then we're going to get on to some advanced stuff for our other students. But everyone's going to do it anyway. From here, I'm going to cross on top, step back with my right foot. So I've got my left hand on top. I'm going to step my right foot back into the walking stance and do the low block. So I'm blocking with my left hand. That was one that was on top. Okay, so from here, I'm going to cross my left hand on top, step back and do a low block. And then I'm going to step forward and punch. Then step back, put my left hand on top again, step back and do a low block. And forward and punch. Back and low block. 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 Cheek your crossing. Forward and punch. Good, butto. When you're punching, make sure you're punching the center line of your body, not out to the side here. Keep your hips and shoulders nice and straight and punch right in the middle. Okay, let's do the other side. This time we'll put the right hand on top and we'll step back and do the low block with the right hand. Okay, step right foot back, right hand on top, and then step forward and punch. Right hand on top, step back and block. And step forward and punch. When you punch, make sure your hips and shoulders are nice and straight. Not angled like this, nice and straight. And back. Check you've got those train tracks for your feet. Forward and punch. Back and block. Forward and punch. Make sure you're smashing two watches together when you cross. Forward and punch. Back and block. Forward and punch.
Jax, try and keep those shoulders straight. When you're punching, when you're blocking, it's fine to have it angled.
And come on, bottle. Cool. Grab a mouthful of water. While let's check the messages. Okay. Now, beginners, we're going to do a sequence of steps without using our hands. Everyone else, forward direction punch. So you do it with my count, but beginners are just going to do it with your hands on your hips. Okay, so everyone's standing normally like this. Everyone, so seniors ready for forward direction punch, you beat. And beginners, just stand with your hands like on your hips like this. I'm going to step my right foot forward into that walking stance. Go. Now from here, I'm just going to pivot on the balls of my feet. So I'm turning sideways. Pivot on the balls of your feet so you turn sideways. And now I'm going to move that back foot to make my walking stance again. Just so I'm stepping back a little bit. That's it. So I've got my left foot at the front. Then step forward. Step your right foot forward this time. So my left foot stays exactly where it is. Now pivot and face 90 degrees, and then move that back foot to the back into your train tracks. So the right foot to the back. Now step your right foot forward. And now pivot and step your right foot back.
Jade, you should definitely be doing the hand movements with this.
And then step your right foot forward. Bottom. Okay, let's do that once more. Once more. The right side. So the left foot's going to stay where it is and just pivot around in a circle. We're going to step forward, pivot and step back. Step forward, pivot and step back. Right side. White belts and above, you should be doing your punches and your blocks as well. Ready? 1, forward. Pivot, right foot back. Right foot forward. Pivot, right foot back. Right foot forward. Pivot, right foot back. Forward. Okay, so just 7 movements. And butt off. Okay, let's do the left side. So this side, the right foot's going to stay where it is. And we're going to turn around, pivoting around the right foot. So ready, left foot forward. Little pivot, step back with the left foot. Left foot forward. Pivot, step back with the left foot. Come on, Magnus, you can be helping your sister. Left foot forward. Pivot, left foot back. And left foot forward. Bottle. Now once more on that side. Ready, left foot forward. Pivot, left foot back. Left foot forward. Pivot, left foot back. Left foot forward. Pivot, left foot back. Left foot forward. And bottle. Okay. White belts who know it, I want you to practice 4 direction block. White belts and above. 4 direction block. Beginners with me, we're going to add our hand movements to 4 direction punch. So every time we step forward, we're going to punch. Every time we step back, we're going to do a low block. So if I start side block, well, in fact, I have to start facing you. My first movement is to step forward and punch, and then I pivot and I block with my left hand. And then forward and punch, pivot, block with my left hand. So beginners, we're going to do that with me. Everybody else, 4 direction block. You've got 4 direction block, people, you've got 1 extra movement. So you can go in your own time. Okay, beginners with me. Step forward with the right hand and punch with the right hand. Pivot, step back and block with the left hand, low block with your forearm. And step forward. Pivot, step back and block with your left hand. Step your right foot back. Your left foot stays where it is. So your left foot's now at the front. Forward and punch. Pivot, step back and block with your left hand. And forward and punch with the right hand. Nice, Naomi. Nice, Eva. Good. And Barol. And nice, Sophia. Awesome, everybody. Okay, left side. Ready? Left hand step forward and punch. Pivot, step back and block with the right hand. So now my left foot's at the back. And forward and punch. Pivot, step back with the left foot, block with the right hand. Other left foot, Naomi. That's it. Forward and punch with the left hand. Now your right foot's going to stay where it is. Pivot, step the left foot back and do a block with the right hand. Other foot back there, Naomi. Left side's tricky. And then left hand forward and punch. And then return butter. Shot. Cool. Okay. And relax. Now, white belts, I want you to practice 4-direction punch and 4-direction block. And beginners, I want you to practice as much as you can. Ryan, can you work through 4-direction block? 4-direction punch as we just did with Sophia. Magnus, can you work through 4-direction punch with Naomi? Okay, Eva, I think you've got enough now to practice that one by yourself. So white belts, you're practicing 4-direction punch, and more senior white belts, you can practice 4-direction block. Everyone else with me doing Chon-Ji, and Mr. West is going to give feedback. Okay, Jay, we'll get onto that in just a moment. Chon-Ji to be ready. In time with me. Shijo.
Jade, extend those arms when you're blocking.
Chon-Ji.
Chon-Ji.
Forward. Shot. Okay, yellow stripes practice Chon-Ji. Yellow belts and above with me doing Dangun. Okay, yellow belts and above practicing Dangun with me. Ready. Now, Jade, I'll take this slowly so you can keep up, and I'll describe what I'm doing, but I won't talk too much because Mr. West will be giving feedback. Okay, ready. B, yellow belts. Shijo. Left hand guarding block, punch, and pivot to the same on the other side. Left foot out to the low block. 3 high punches. Now from here, I'm going to pivot around my right foot, turn so I make the top of my capital I shape, and do my sang po makgi. 24-arm block. Then step forward and punch with the right hand, right foot, eye level. All punches in this pattern are high. Right foot turns all the way around, sang po makgi, and high punch. Now the next 2 movements, remember, a continuous motion, low block and rising block, both with the left hand. Left hand for both of them, that's it. And then 3 rising blocks. 1, 2, 3.
Mason, just remember that in Chon-Ji, you're always stepping forward. So at the moment, with your legs, you're kind of coming from here, stepping around, and instead of ending up here, your other foot comes back behind. So you're always, as you're turning, your foot will always end up in front of you, the foot that's moving in Chon-Ji. It won't ever end up behind you. It won't ever end up the behind foot. So just keep that in mind when you're doing your turning, because I think it's throwing off your pattern a little bit.
Okay, now Jade, our next movement, our right foot's going to stay where it is. We're going to make the bottom of our capital I again. So pivot around it, do knife hand side strike and outside. That's it, and then high punch. Other side, knife hand side strike. And high punch. Dangun. Now that left foot comes all the way back around to our ready position. So 21 movements. Knife hand guarding block, high punch. Knife hand guarding block, high punch. Low block, 3 high punches. Then pivot around the top foot to the top of the capital I, twin forearm block, high punch. Other side, twin forearm block, high punch. Continuous motion, low block and rising block. Then 3 rising blocks. 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to got to the bottom of the capital I again. Knife hand side strike, high punch. Other side. Make sure you're using 2 hands for your knife hand side strike. High punch. And back to our ready position.
Just quickly, it looked like a couple of you were trying to follow along with Master B there. That was the yellow belt pattern. You were meant to be just trying to practice your own pattern there.
Sorry, Jade, I misread your note. You said, can I do Dungun? I thought you were saying you needed some help with Dungun.
I'm kind of getting used to Dungan though.
Awesome, good. Okay, everybody, come on, grab a drink of water. Toby T, a better class for you is the 6 o'clock class than the 5 o'clock class. It's got more appropriate technique for your level. Does anybody have any questions about what we've covered tonight, about their syllabus, or about grading on Monday for those of you who are grading? No questions? Just unmute and ask if you've got any questions.
Sir,
Yes.
when we get back into the dojo for yellow belt grading,
Yes.
will I have time to do it with a partner? Because I haven't done 2-step bar.
Yeah, absolutely. So when we get back into the dojo, we'll have to do a week or so practice first to give you the opportunity to do the partner work. So you've got your self-defense and your step sparring. And then green belts have got their free sparring as well, and blue belts have got their breaking. So yes, okay. We'll spend a week or 2 getting that stuff ironed out, and then we'll do the grading.
Okay, thank you.
Good question. Any other questions?
Finley, not everyone's grading together. Master B said at the start of the session, he'll give you like a 30-minute time slot that you'll have to be there for grading for. After that, and after you've done your grading and Master B's seen you and like asked you some questions with theory, then you should be fine to go, I think. So you'll get a time, but everyone's grading in the same session, just not at the same time.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. West. And those times I give you will be approximate, because of course I'll be putting people up and grading, and then when that half hour is done, hopefully we'll roll straight into the next one. So I'll just have to do it as time goes and give you an approximate window. Julian, really good question. I'm impressed with the way that you're practicing and training. We'll get you through this grading first, and then when we get back in the dojang, I'll take a look at you and see how you're going for yellow belt. But I don't think it's going to be far away from you because you're looking really good.
I told you 500 times.
Any other questions?
Seriously, can you please just get it before I do it?
Somebody's talking that's not muted and may not realize they're not muted.
Sorry.
Elon, question?
Master B, when is class gonna end?
Oh, I think we'll end at about Friday night. How does that sound? We'll do a 24-hour training session. It's good for your brain. So we've only got about 23 hours left. You okay?
23 hours?
Yeah, about 23 more hours. Okay. Cool. If there's no more questions, let's get on to some other stuff. I want to just see, before we do anything else, all of our yellow stripes and above do their 3-step sparring. So for those of you white belts, you can just watch this. I want to see yellow belts do their 3-step sparring. Ready? I'm putting it all on screen for me. 3-step sparring, yellow stripes and above. If you're not yellow stripe, but you know 3-step sparring, you can do it as well. So Levi, you may know this by now. And go.
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Christian.
I don't know how to do 3-step sparring. because I'm not confident.
Oh, Luke,
And
okay. That's okay, Luke. I just want you to try your best for now, and we'll do some more work on it over the next few weeks.
Yeah.
So show me what you've learned so far. Okay, so yellow stripes and above, show me 3-step, or those who are not yellow stripe and know it, you can do it as well. Where you go. Let's see it. Julian, yes, that's you. Show me a 3-step. Magnus, that's you. Let's see it. Nice, strong stances. Jack's good. Sophia and Toby B looking good. Big stances, remember. Don't be sloppy on the stances. Toby T, I was saying before that you might be better off in the 6 o'clock class than the 5 o'clock class at the moment.
I know,
Julian
sir.
looking good.
I know, sir, but I got hip hop at 6.
Oh, hip hop. Yeah. Okay. No, Mason, you haven't covered this yet. It's not your syllabus, so don't worry about it yet, Mason.
Okay.
Let me have a look at the the senior guys. Julian, make sure that I'm sorry. Yep, looking good. Get your thumb out of the way, though. Get that thumb right out of the way. Not like this, because you'll hit your thumb knuckle. You got to get your thumb underneath. That's it. Good. Nice, Dr. S. Then move that front foot, Dr. S. That one, Dr. S, is the front foot doing the knife hand side strike outwards. That's it, that one. Moving the front foot for number 3. Okay, 1 more minute. Julian, when you're doing it for our middle block, keep your elbows down. Don't lift your elbows up like this when you do your inner forearm middle block. Keep your elbows down and block across rather than flattening. See how you're flattening your arms like this? Puts too much pressure on the muscles in your neck. Elbows down. Elbows down. Yes, Luke.
I don't know any more than what I just did.
That's okay, Luke. And come on. Okay. Just a little bit of light stuff to finish off. Oh.
Sir,
Yes, please, Mr. West.
just quickly, I'm gonna have to go to grab my Durbok out of the dryer and just get my drink bottle filled up and all that.
Thank you for your help, sir. No problem. Okay, everybody from here, bit of loosening up to end the class. Right leg back, forearm gunning block to beat. We're going to play with those 3 kicks and see how we go. We're going to go front snap kick, keep your leg up, pivot, turning kick, and then out to the side, side piercing kick. 3 kicks, keeping your leg in the air. Ready? Everybody ready? Where did Naomi go? Okay. And with Sophia, ready? Go. Front kick, turning kick, side kick, and gunning lock. Cool. Front kick. Keep your hand up by your ear. Turning kick, side kick. Nice. Go. Front kick, turning kick, side kick. So your front kicks to the front, your turning kicks on an angle, your side kicks to the side. 1 more. Go. Front kick, turning kick, side kick. Bottle. Now the other leg. Hook. Ready. Front kick, turning kick, side kick. Dual. Front kick, turning kick, side kick. Set. Front kick, turning kick, side kick. Front kick, turning kick, side kick. 1 more. Go. front kick, turning kick, side kick. Nice. And buttle. Reach up to the sky. And hang down. And bend your knees and stand up. Right leg behind. Make sure you're practicing for grading on Monday, for those of you who are grading. Those of you who aren't, I'm sure you're not going to be far away. There's some really good practicing from you. Some of you just haven't quite got the number of sessions, particularly if you graded last term. Some of you older guys, of course, Sophia, Stella, you guys aren't doing, of course, the children's syllabus because you're in an older age group. So you've just got to be ready for yellow belt. So you've got to have the 24 sessions for that. And change legs. No children's syllabus for you guys. Same for you, Dr. S, of course. Make sure your dobok is all clean and ready to wear on Monday for grading. For those of you who don't have a dobok yet, of course, that's not possible. Don't worry about that. And legs apart. Nice and straight. And just lean your body over so your hands are on the ground. And let your legs open a little wider. Slowly walk your legs in, standing up. Quick rotation of the hips. Change direction. And turn to the left and tidy up. Okay, remember just a final note before grading on Monday. Those of you who have this book, ensure you have filled in the relevant pages for your grade and below, because I will ask to see them on Monday at grading. Also make sure, everybody make sure you learn your theory, because I will be testing theory on Monday. Okay, if you've got this book, you need to learn your theory. You should also have your red covered notebook with your notes and diagrams and things in it. So make sure you bring that as well, because I might ask you to see that. Okay, thank you very much, everybody. Lovely to see big sisters along. Thank you very much for coming. I'll hopefully see big sisters again next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and have a good weekend, guys. Train and study hard. Make sure you're helping mum and dad at home, of course. Come on, Dario. Come in. Take a walk. Huzzah. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye. See you soon. Remember, we've got Saturday as well. If you need extra training before grading, Saturday at 11.